Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to RealLifeOORA. So we're back on our Temple of Notch world. There's our notch over there. And today we're going to be focusing on the randomizer. So settle in. This is going to be quite an interesting video, okay? It took me quite some time to fooling around with this, making sure that it works and is completely random. So the randomizer, as you may guess, randomizes if our notch is going to be happy or if he's going to be mad and kill you. Okay? If he's happy, he'll reward you. If he's mad, he'll kill you. So what we have is we have line A and we have line B. So with line A, it could be hooked up with happy notch. So if he's happy, he drops a whole bunch of loot and he's a happy face. Or line B, where he's mad and he cries and he inevitably plummets you to your death. Okay, so we need to make it so it goes ahead and chooses either line A or line B. So if we go ahead and test this out by just pressing a button instead of the pressure plate, which will be at the end of the pathway to get to look at notch. So if we actually press this button, it's going to choose line A that time. A again. A again. None that time. There are some times when it happens to be none. A few times. There's line B. B. A. Okay, so it's completely random which one it chooses. I have done a lot of research on different designs people have done for randomizers. In all cases, it really has been just way too complicated that I think you guys would understand, because I was having a tough time understanding it. So you guys, if you're coming to me for these tutorials, probably wouldn't really understand it too much either. So anyways, I ended up going with this one design of actually getting the random output, and then from there I went ahead and decided, okay, if we have these random outputs, how do we get it down to only two signals, A or B? Okay, so we have, I'll show you how to build this, so don't worry, but basically we have dispensers. Okay, inside the dispensers are empty buckets and one water bucket. Now when I press the button, it's going to power, and it's either going to empty the water that's in the water bucket into this, or it's going to suck up the water if the water isn't there currently, or it'll just dispense one of the empty buckets. And basically it just detects that with a whole bud system over here, and it pushes the sand up and triggers one of these paths to go. Pistons. In the video that he did, he actually had a some redstone lamps, but in this we're using pistons, so we can actually get our A and B output. Okay, so if we go over here, this is basically just a rundown. That's the final product. This is something else I need to tell you, but right here I ran through some different ideas and stuff, and I tried to go ahead and make it so the output was again only two signals, because the problem I was running into was sometimes you have it so when you do it, both the lines go, both A and B go, but we don't want that. We want him to be either be happy or sad. We want it to be on or off. We can't have them both on, because they're splitting to two different outputs, and if they're at two different outputs, he's gonna be happy and sad at the same time. So you'll get rewarded, but you'll get killed. So what I had to do is I had to still use the two separate signals right here, so the two different randomizers instead of the single one that I was thinking about over there. I was thinking about maybe powering one all the time, and then if one's randomly selected, it cuts out the power from the other one and then continues with that one. Doable, but not as good, I didn't think. I was running into a lot of problems where I had to use a ton of pistons and repeaters in order to get that signal completely cut off. However, in this one, it goes ahead, you just press it, it chooses one of them, and whatever one it chooses, it goes with the power, and it basically runs to one of these encoders, and the encoder has a torch on it. It's very similar if you guys watched my redstone computer tutorial for the segment displayers. Okay, so this torch right here is currently powered off because it's currently powered by this one torch that's running along the top, depowering this one. Okay, and when this line gets power, it inverts this torch, which in fact uninverts, I guess, this torch, and then powers this line. Now the thing is, it does that for both sides, but like I said, both these could be powered, and in that case we don't want both the lights going off or both the signals happening. We want one of them. So I have it so this piece right here, segment, I'm just calling this A and B. So A actually has two pistons, so I basically allowed it so say both of them go, sure, both these right here are going to light up and get power, but this one is going to have its power connection cut off by these pistons that go ahead and move the blocks over. And the problem with actually just doing one piston, I could just do one piston right here if I were to get rid of that signal. So this is quickly just set up pressure plate. It just goes to both these torches, going ahead and symbolizing a scenario where your redstone makes both path A and path B powered. So if I go ahead and step on this, I can even stand on it for as long as I want. So basically you can see that piece right there at the end is powered. So is this one. This one's not cut off at all because we want A. Well, if I step off of this for a split second, B gets powered because the signal lasts a little bit longer than this one does. Okay, so you can see it lights up, then you have both A and B, and then it doesn't work. However, if we add that second piston in with a 1 tick delay and go just like this, it's cut off again, but then this time when it gets powered, that one is still being powered, so it still cuts it off, so there is no fraction of a second power from line B. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to build this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to raise this off the ground a little bit and take our 2 dispensers and face them outward. Next, we're going to run the line down right here, put a block in the center, put 2 blocks on the side, run one more down, and either side, place a block right there, and we'll just fill this in for now because we're going to place our water. Okay, make sure this is a standing pool, so make sure you place the water on all 3 blocks. And we can place our blocks out here. A sticky piston or normal piston facing upward. Okay. Make sure it's at the same height as the dispenser. Break these blocks that are running towards it and make sure the water is flowing. Place your sand too high. Take your building block and place it at the same level as the second height sand. Put some redstone on the top of these 2 and some levers, both powered on. Okay. Now we're going to, on the first piece of sand, pull them back. Same thing for the other one, and connect them there. Our button in this case, just because I don't want to have to deal with a pressure plate, but pressure plate, you just run the redstone right into here. So for we're going to place the button, after we run this redstone, we're going to place the button there. Again, if you wanted to use the pressure plate, you place the pressure plate right there and redstone running to it, but we're just going to use a button. Okay, so just like that. Make sure that there's no leaks anywhere. This looks pretty good. Okay, and we're first going to just signify it by using a redstone lamp, making sure that everything is in fact working. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to take 1 water bucket and put it in each. Okay, and now the only problem that we have with this scenario is it does dispense some of the buckets, and in such case, at a point when all the empty buckets run out, it will always constantly be giving you an output of true. So we'll always have, in this case, line A be working, since if we have both of them go, it cuts out line B and only has line A. Well, if we do that, then it just won't allow it, and it'll always go line A. Okay? So we're just going to put extra buckets. I recommend for that same situation and reasoning, you fill this with 16 buckets each slot in here, other than the 1 water bucket. So go ahead and test this out. That's line A, line B, neither, line B. Okay, both, so that would be line A. So I guess you could say line A has a little bit better chance because of the fact that it has both not and on. Okay, so, and then off. I'm not really sure what to do about off. Maybe we can have it so it always has a power, like a third option, where that just runs straight into A, but I don't, if it gets no power, but I have no idea. We'll figure that later. You guys can figure that out, okay? So basically this is how it works. You can see if we look in here, we actually do have 2 water buckets, and we have some of our buckets actually dispensed. That's why it's always, when you're actually testing this, it's nice to leave this top piece open so you can just grab your buckets and place them back in. There's our 16 in our water. We'll place that there. Okay, we'll keep that there. Okay, so we're going to get rid of these actually, and we're going to place our pistons. So make sure the pistons are actually facing outward, okay? And So let's see. Place it there. Okay. So currently, if this gets power, it's going to push it off and allow this signal to go, and thus turning it on. So if we have this one, okay, so that's both A and B. It's both A and B again. Neither. 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 A. Neither. Neither. B. Okay, so you can see how that works. So it'll basically be getting power from that. So when the piston is extended, it allows this to not be cut off anymore, because the piston actual shaft does not interfere with the redstone line like the actual block in the path currently does. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run these out here, right like that. You can actually pull that in one. Okay. And you can just run these straight, but I'm just running them like this just so that it's more compact. Yeah, this is fine. So just make sure you leave a gap in between them. And then you can run some redstone. We're going to place our redstone torches on these corner bits right here, okay? And then from these two pieces that are just next to the corner pieces, bring them down and then break those top pieces. Run your redstone directly to it, and if you're picking up what I'm putting down, this is going to allow the torch to be inverted. Okay, so run this line over here, run it over there. The reason why we want this line always powered is we want this torch right here to be unpowered, because if this torch would be powered, the line underneath it would then in turn be powered and we'd always have an output. But if we have this not like that, see, that would be always the output. If we have this torch here, it's going to have the redstone on top powered and thus turning that off. Okay, so basically the only time we want this turned on or powered off is when we want that powered on, is when we want our output to be signaled, which is only when we want that to be activated by that. Okay, so just make sure you have them running so down diagonal like that, so it can go ahead and invert the torch. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go off the ground and build up one. Just make sure it's a one space from the actual thing. So we're just going to build this out here. Okay, and there should be a 3 space in between. So 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is our next line. So delete those 3. And you can just pull these here. Pull these ones back. You really don't need to go farther than this, so we'll just get rid of that. Okay? But make sure that these go, we'll just go one further just to make sure everything's good. Run your redstone the full length. For us, our left side is going to be option B, so we're going to go ahead and place a torch on that one. And for the right side, it's going to be option A, so we're going to place a torch right above that one. Okay? And we're going to run our redstone right along it. Same thing over here. Right along it just like that. Okay, and over here I do have some repeaters, so just these are the actual placements of it. It really doesn't matter where you place them, just make sure this one is on one tick before that and this one is on one tick between those. Okay, other than that, it's looking pretty much similar to that one. Okay, so we're just going to place our repeater one block away from this one. So just this is directly underneath, one block, and then this one. This is going to be on one tick like I said. Make sure you leave that one normal, but then this one is going to go down, and then this one is going to go down, then that one is going to go back up. So maybe like a W, I guess. Whatever that formation is, you can decide, but just make sure it goes down, up, and fill those in. Okay, and with these, you're just going to pull it straight back. Okay, and where this hump is right there, we're going to place our second repeater and put it again on one tick. Right here, we're going to pull that back and pull that back. Those are directly across from the little dips. Okay, and we can just build up one, and put a sticky piston and a sticky piston. Break those back. We'll put our redstone line and continue that on that side. Next, we're going to get our building block and just place it like that. Make sure it's that distance because we want it to, when it's actually powered, we want it to be blocking off the signal right here. Okay? And then we'll be placing our redstone stuff, or redstone lamps right there, just to go ahead and test it and see. And that was nothing that time. That was line A. Line A. nothing, 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 nothing again. Line B, line A, because it was both that time. So there you go, guys. That's how you do it. Like I said, if it's both, it'll go ahead and cut off, so it'll always be line A. So make sure you hook up line A to whatever you want it to happen more. If you want death more, hook that up to line A. If you want a reward more, hook that up to line A. Okay, so that's how you build it. I apologize how complicated it is. This is probably the most complicated thing that you'll be doing in this tutorial. But I appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!